Bicycle thefts are something that happen to each of us, sometimes more than once. In the United States, nearly 500,000 bicycles are stolen each year, amounting to losses in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Officer Ben Harris is with us today to speak about some safety tips that you can do to ensure the safety of your bicycle. Officer Ben Harris, what can citizens do to keep their bicycles safe?
Well, first of all, we want to talk about a couple different ways to secure your bicycles. And then I'll talk about ways that we can use in the investigative process to get your bicycle returned to you if it is actually stolen. What we look at is quality locks and good locations for securing your bicycle. Now, a good location could be anything from a garage, inside your home, or maybe sometimes if you commute to work, bringing your bike actually into the workplace if that's allowed by your employer. Quality locks, we want to see locks that are very durable, made out of good quality materials. And if it is in the case of a cable or a U-lock, we want to see something that is very thick, and it will be very difficult to use small bolt cutters to break the lock.
Officer Harris, what can citizens do to aid in the recovery of their bicycles?
Well, purchase records are the number one way that we are going to be able to get the customer's bicycle back to them. With a receipt that has the date, time, location, where they bought the bicycle, that is absolute proof that you own that bicycle. On that receipt may or may not be the serial number of that bicycle, however. Not all retailers record the serial number of the bicycle that you buy at their store on the receipt. That's also true of some major electronics. So what we want you to do as soon as possible, if you keep that receipt, is record the serial number of the bicycle on the receipt so that we have that information if we happen to recover your bicycle.
Officer Harris, can you demonstrate to our viewers how to use the bicycle locks once they have them?
This is what I use when I bike ride. This is just a backpack that holds a water bladder. And within this, I can keep bike tools and, most importantly, my bike locks. There are two bike locks that I use. One is called a U-lock, as far as the style of the lock, and the other is a cable lock. The cable lock that I have folds up and is approximately a ½ inch in diameter in terms of the size of the cable. And that's important when we start looking at when bikes are stolen. Cables that are typically smaller than this can be cut with bolt cutters that are very small in size and that can in fact fit in a bag this big. Once we get over a ½ inch diameter cable, thieves have to carry much bigger bolt cutters, and that's usually a very good tell as far as law enforcement to see if someone's going around a neighborhood looking to break into a house or steal a bicycle. So this is a very flexible system with the cable, and then this, the U-lock, is very hard metal, and these locks do two separate things. The U-lock is basically what you're going to use to lock your frame to a post or a standing bike lock or something like that. The cable lock can be used to lock it to a tree, lock the front tire and the frame to a bike lock stand or anything like that. But right now I'll show you how these work. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to properly lock a bicycle using one or more locks. First thing we want to find is a secure place to lock up our bicycle, and that means a good bike rack that is anchored solidly to the ground. That could also mean sometimes a tree if you find one that's a big enough diameter. So using one lock, and I'll start with the U-lock that I've got here. We're just going to undo the locking mechanism, pull our bike up to the bike rack here. Just rest it against the bike rack, and we're going to lock it through the frame. What we want to lock it through is either the top frame tube or what's called the seat tube of the frame. This way, when we close the lock, and leave it, there's no possibility that this lock can come off the rack, and it holds the bike securely. In order for someone to break this lock, they'll have to have very large bolt cutters that are very obvious to bystanders or law enforcement, or they will have to disable the bicycle in a way that it will not be able to be ridden away. If you want to add even further security to your bicycle, we can lock up the front tire or the front wheel to the frame and the bike rack also with a cable lock. Now my cable lock has a feature on it that will not allow you to remove the key until you actually lock the mechanism. That way, when you actually lock it, you know that it's locked, and when you leave, it's not going anywhere. So what we'll do is we'll take this lock and we'll thread the small end through the front tire, or the front wheel, and through the frame, and secure the lock. Now what we can also do is we can secure this lock. If we move the bike forward a bit, we can go over this mounting rack through the wheel and the frame and lock the bike that way. Now the bike is locked securely in 2 places, and our front wheel cannot be removed, as most bikes nowadays have a quick release feature so that we can easily change the front tire or tube in the case of a flat. Now thieves cannot go or get away with our front wheel.
Clearly, there are 2 types of safety. Number 1, keeping your bike safe as far as securing it and providing proof of purchase and receipt. The other would be safety while you're on your bicycle. Can you provide some tips to our citizens about how to keep themselves safe while they're out and about on their bicycles?
So the few types of safety gear that we would recommend as a minimum, one being a helmet, the second gloves, and the third some sort of glasses, either clear lenses or sunglasses. And also something that's very important in Arizona, since it is the summertime, is to carry a good amount of water around with you when you're riding, daytime or nighttime, as it gets very hot in Phoenix and it can stay up to 90 degrees at nighttime. So as helmets go, most helmets that you'll buy at stores will look like this. They'll have a strap that hugs the back of your head so that it doesn't fall off in the event of a crash, and has some sort of sunshade. These are usually breakaway so that if you do have a crash event, they will come off and it won't cause you any unnecessary neck injuries. Gloves are important. In the event that you have some sort of crash, it'll protect your hands, not just from dirt or debris on the road, but the road itself. It's very hot in the middle of the day. Water is also very important, as I said, because you'll get dehydrated easily when you're riding your bike. Glasses are kind of something that we have an afterthought about. Most people don't think that you might need to wear glasses while you're riding a bike, but if you're riding with traffic, automobiles can throw a lot of gravel and debris up in the air that you might not normally think about. So a good set of sunglasses or a good set of clear lens glasses would be a great benefit to you while you're riding to keep debris out of your eyes.
Officer Harris, thank you so much for providing safety information.
If you'd like some more safety tips while riding your bike on the road, please visit azbikeped.org. It is a website from the Department of Transportation. Ride safe.